Good day, I'm Dwayne Matz, and this is today's Living Word. We're continuing in the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 2. We're parking on this verse, looking at the seven aspects of the Holy Spirit. And Isaiah writes, "The Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him," upon Jesus. "The Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord." That's Isaiah 11:2. So Isaiah foretells here of the descending of the Holy Spirit that rested on Jesus at his baptism. The Holy Spirit, who proceeds from the throne of God, brings seven aspects with him. And today we're going to talk about the sixth aspect, that of knowledge. Jesus had perfect knowledge. And by that we mean that he was always fully aware of what the Father was up to. He was always perfectly aligned with the will of God. John 6:38 says, "For I have come down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me." He was one with the Father. John 10:30, "I and my Father are one." For instance, he knew his time was short on this earth and that he would be returning to the Father. In John 13:3, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands and that he had come from God and was going to God. Perfect knowledge. He knew of the pain and the suffering that awaited him on the cross, and he prayed fervently for another way, but the Father remained steadfast in his plan, his will to save men from their sins. And Jesus, armed with that perfect knowledge, was able to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane, "Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." You know, as believers, you and I have the same Spirit dwelling in us, but our sin blocks the perfect revelation of God from us. God knows what knowledge we need, and he gives it to us via his word. But perfect knowledge won't come until Jesus returns. 1 Corinthians 13:9 says, "For we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect has come, then that which is in part will be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know just as I also am known." Yeah, I don't know what life will be like in the new heavens and the new earth, but I do know none of us will be scratching our head as it concerns the will of God. Isaiah 11:9 says, "They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea." Wow, full disclosure of the will of God, perfect harmony with the Father, ever free of hurt and destruction. Is that something to look forward to or not? I'm Dwayne Matz, and that's today's Living Word.